Hello. Thank you all for joining us on this special Remembrance Day episode, one day early.
Exactly. And here, of course, in the US, it's Veterans Day tomorrow. And then my birthday. Just throwing that out there. It's an honor for me to have my birthday right after Veterans Day and Remembrance Day.
It's easy to remember that way.
I'm glad it's not on the day, though, because I wouldn't want that. But this is not why we're here. We're here for the veterans and those that are currently serving in the military. And that's not just here in the United States, but the UK, Germany, Australia, Canada, everywhere. I feel bad because I can't go through all of our allies. There's so many. And actually, I had this sitting here and thought I'd grab it. These are the flags of the countries we have learned from so far. And they're still going to go back and learn more from some of these countries. Not to forget our own flag. Just doesn't. There we go. There we go. That's kind of important to be there. But, you know, I was just thinking today that behind all these flags are great nations. But behind all these flags are also bad times. Times where some countries feel shamed, guilty. All of them.
Yes.
Trust me. Nobody's perfect. No country's perfect. But the military is there to carry out the duty to whatever those orders may be it good or bad, depending on who you are. You know, some nations have broke away from others to make their own country. And other countries have remained Commonwealth nations and have fought alongside other countries. And we also have a country that we have been learning about that has become one of our strongest allies in the last 75 years, alongside all of our friends. And they deserve love, respect, and honor just as much as everybody else does.
Absolutely.
And that should be with not any question whatsoever. So today, in honor of Remembrance Day tomorrow, Veterans Day here in the United States, not just these countries, but all the ones we hope to learn about and add to our tier of flags here. Try not to cry. Thank you for your service. If you have served in any of the militaries, any of these countries, and the future ones that are allies to us that we haven't talked yet, and to those of you who are currently serving, you really do put out the most selfless thing you can do, and that's putting your life on the line for me, for Debbie, for everyone watching, whether you're someone that sits there and says thank you to a serviceman or woman, or you're someone who sits back and just thinks, it's their job. It's maybe a job for you to them, but it's their life. And they don't have to do that job. It's a thankless job, and it's they're unsung heroes, but they are heroes. And we will always thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we hope to honor you today in some way by learning even more and sitting here and getting more information on things that we may not know about. So we have two videos, as I said. The first one is called Letters Home. And this is supposed to be a short film. And it says it tells the story of Tom, a sailor from the Royal Navy 63rd Division, writing his letter home. It's a personal account on the front line where a letter home is sent in case the unimaginable happens. And that's going to be a short film, but I have a feeling this is going to be get out the tissues.
Probably.
And video two?
Video two is Old Soldier Meets Young Soldier. And this one's from 2019.
Yeah, and this is and to look into two different lives and different generations. Two people of vastly different ages discuss a shared experience that impacted their lives, how it affected them, how they dealt with it. And it's a 95-year-old World War II veteran.
And a 34-year-old Iraq and Afghanistan veteran.
Wow. And their conversation, positive and negative side effects of war and how it changed over the years. And we felt like that would be that'll be very interesting. Interesting to learn, to see. Wow. That just gives me chills thinking about that.
Exactly.
We hope that you will join us. Again, we wear the poppies for the soldiers. We wear the purple ones for the animals. We respect everybody that have served. We hope that you'll join us in that honor. And it's an honor to us to see your comments of I've served here, I've done this. And we don't respond to all because we can't. But we did this a couple years ago. if you have a veteran that you want to remember in the comments, please put their name.
Absolutely.
And we will do our best
to go through and look at those.
Yes. We do our best to respond to as many as we can, but we definitely look at them all. Without any further ado, let's take a look at our first video.
Dear Sis, just a few lines to let you know that I'm okay and that you are not to worry about me. I was grateful to receive your letter. Sorry that it's taken so long to write back. I'm writing to you from somewhere in France. It's almost peaceful here at times when the artillery stops. Some mornings I can hear a bird singing in the trees. It reminds me of home. I hear Billy has finally gone to sea. I know he gets seasick. I do hope he's okay. I'm sure he'll write to you soon, once he's settled in. I pray conditions on board are better than here in the trenches. Though I'm confident he will make plenty of friends to see him through. I haven't received your parcel just yet. I fear the transport ship may have been sunk. I do appreciate the gesture though, and hope it arrives nonetheless. The news we hear from day to day at this part of the front is very cheerful and encouraging. Yesterday a German officer captured near here said it could not go on very much longer. I for one hope these remarks will prove correct. When the artillery fires you can see a flash, before hearing the shriek of the shell passing over our heads. It's like that big storm we had on the night before I left. Do you remember? You were in such a frightful way. Billy took good care of you that night. I'm already tired of the sound of shelling. And I long to hear how your piano lessons have progressed in my time away. Mother says you are doing very well indeed. I miss you all dearly, and I wish I could come home to see everyone. I hope this letter finds you and all is well. I can't wait to come home.
Please tell me he came along. He didn't, did he? Jeez, don't do that, man.
All my love. Your Tom.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. We will not forget. I want to thank you to the Royal Navy for that short film. You okay?
That was beautiful.
You okay?
Very hard.
Yeah, you got it on your shirt.
Thinking about my my mom when her brothers went off to serve in Vietnam.
Oh yeah,
Not World War
your uncles.
II, yeah. Being left behind. And I never really thought about, having tried to send someone a package and maybe the ship got destroyed and they never got the package. Where the plane that was delivering the packages. And it's just remarkable to me that they could even deliver mail to the front lines back then.
Yeah.
In World War I and II. How you could ever find a soldier to deliver mail to.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's a tough job. And So many people got letters like that, and yet that's all they got.
Yeah.
They didn't get their soldier back. So we don't forget them.
Exactly.
We keep their stories going. We talk about them. And we keep talking about them. And we just... German soldiers as well as British soldiers, as well as French soldiers, as well as American soldiers. And on and on. And it matters. Each life matters. Now, we're going to switch around just a little bit here and go to our second video here. Old soldier meets young soldier. And I think this is going to be quite something. I really do. Again, this is from, you said 2019, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they both have.
Hello, young man.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Pleasure.
Wow.
How you been? You okay?
Not so bad. Yourself?
On the spot.
On the spot.
There's a stack of them here, isn't there?
All right.
Which war did you fight in?
Second World War. My flotilla was the third flotilla, and there was 12 of us. And we took part in the North African campaign, and then we went on to the invasion of Sicily.
How long were you away for?
2 years.
Jeez.
In them days, with a different war, you had to go where you were sent, and some lads went to North Africa and went right through and never got home till way after D-Day. The other wars that followed this, it's an entirely different war than what ours was.
I think it goes through generations, doesn't it? It goes from one war to another.
It's frightening to see what happens to these modern wars. You're fighting an enemy you do not know where he is for the start. Like in our war, as long as you were going forward, you were going the right way. But you get in Afghanistan and that, he can come up behind you and you don't know he's there. And from my way of thinking, I wouldn't like to have fought in that war, I'll be honest with you.
See, that's where I think the two change, because I wouldn't like to fight in your war, because in my eyes, being on a ship...
It's probably safer on a ship, so I can't swim, so...
You can't swim? But you're a sailor.
And they never taught me. But where would you swim to? If you're a long way from home, it don't matter whether you could swim or not.
After training, I got to battalion, and then we deployed to Belize. We went for 6 weeks in the jungle, training, and that was pre-training for Iraq. We deployed to Iraq in 2006. Yeah, 2006. That was a 6-month tour, turned into a 7-month tour, and we were deployed to Saddam's palace in Basra South.
Oh wow!
Where we patrolled and did strike ops. After there, we come back. I went on to do my promotion. We then deployed to Kosovo. That was peacekeeping. And then from there, we then deployed to Afghanistan, to Herrick 10. So completely different operations altogether, from armoured to foot.
Well, you've been through quite a lot, son, haven't you? What are your feelings towards the enemy now in comparison to at the time? That's a good one, that.
At the time, I didn't. It's weird, because I'm going to
interrupt that for a minute. That's a question right there. I need a second. What an honor for the young man to be able to sit there with this World War II veteran, for
Absolutely.
one. What an honor. What an honor for us to have this filmed and watch. I'm so thankful that this is a thing that exists on the internet. And I don't know if that gentleman is still with us today. It's been 5 years since this was filmed.
Yeah.
I hope so. Either way, it was so thankful that this is documented. I think they're both going to answer this question, and I'm intrigued, and also it's a big question.
Enemy now in comparison. What are your feelings towards the enemy now in comparison to at the time? That's a good one, that.
At the time, I didn't. It's weird, because I'm going to probably stand out here. I didn't have any hate for them. I believed that we were fighting in someone else's country and they were defending it in a way.
Wow. And I've heard that from so many friends of mine in the United States military. I have a lot of friends that are in the Marines and Army. And I've heard the exact same thing. And I like hearing that, because it's true. It's true.
Yes, absolutely.
I believed that we were fighting in someone else's country and they were defending it in a way. But I think that's one of the other reasons why I left, because I didn't believe in it in the end. I think I fought that hard, and I was fighting an enemy so much that I was equal to them. If someone can fight, if someone can get a number of men in front of me and fight me and my men to the extreme that they were fighting us, then hats off to them. What about yourself?
Wow. Well, we fought the Germans to win the war. That's what was bred into you. And it took me until about 1970 before I could really, you know, see me way clear. I have nothing against them now. It took me all that time to realize they were the same as us, doing what they had to do.
Have you ever fired a weapon?
Yes, on the landing craft I was an anti-aircraft gunner.
Wow.
We had 6 Oerlikons and a 12-pounder on her. So I fired that many times through the war. It's a different thing. It's not like firing a rifle. No, like a soldier has to rely on a rifle, doesn't he? Like I have to rely on me anti-aircraft gun. Whenever you're in imminent danger, you're called to action stations. And if the planes come at you, then you have to fight back. And
That's so terrifying.
on the Oerlikon, you had a shield, which you look through the gap, so to speak. It always gave you that feeling that he couldn't hit you, which was a silly way of thinking, but it gave you a bit of feeling of comfort, if you know what I mean.
See, with us, we were just rifles. Rifles, and we had GPMGs, which were 7.62 belt fed, which that most of them...
Well, you'd be lost without your rifle or your gun, wouldn't you? On the deck.
Afghan had a section, so I had a section of 8 lads, and very, very good lads as well. We would get in 360 ambushes, so we'd get hit by an IED, so you'd have someone from the front.
Yeah, that's what's terrifying about that war.
From the top of the compound, and they basically just spraying you with rapid fire with 7.62. Once you got into the firefight, you could never tell what was going to happen, but you always knew it was going to be like a well-oiled machine. The way your SOPs kick into place, the way you know your lads they just knew, because of the amount of training you did, we knew exactly what we were doing.
How do you think soldiers are viewed in society?
Ooh.
It all depends how the media portrays us. I remember going back, when we were coming back from Iraq, we landed in Teesside, and we had groups of people that weren't happy that we were there, and they were British people, because the media portrayed us as killers, as murderers. Flipping the coin, when we come back from Afghan, we were portrayed as heroes. So the whole country rejoiced to go, oh, save our heroes. Obviously, your generation, you were...
Well, I
heroes.
think the war had lasted so long with that they were glad to see the people back home.
Yeah.
And I think most soldiers and sailors, any serviceman, was looked upon, they say thank you to them for getting their freedom in one way. They were glad to see the war over. I can understand the difference now. It's a different generation, and but
it's a different war, isn't it?
Well, you find it, I know.
When you're in a war zone, and as you know, you've got that constant stress above your head of what's next, and you're constantly on high alert, and you're constantly irate. It only takes one person to look at you, and you're ready to fight straight away. Hence why when soldiers come back home, someone looks at you the wrong way, you're already in fight mode. It's been 12 years, I'm still in fight mode now. I don't think I'll ever change that.
If you're fighting a war, it's them or us, so to speak. And that's my way of thinking. And so let it be.
That's it. But when I was out there, it was my lads. My lads are coming home, no matter what. I don't care who you are, my lads are coming home.
Have you ever lost a member of your company?
Oh, it's a tough question for me. I have to think
about. Yeah, I want to answer it, but I don't at the same time, because we've lost quite a lot of lads from our battalion, of our regiment. I say regiment because it's 1 RGJ and 2 RGJ. Today is the 10th anniversary for a lad we lost called Paul McAleese. He was my screw. We lost him 10 years today.
Again, I said this at the beginning, in case anyone fast forwarded didn't hear me. if you have a veteran that you've lost, please leave their name in the comments. It doesn't matter if it was World War I, World War II, current.
Afghan.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Leave their names in the comments. Honor a veteran today. And
we've lost quite a lot, yeah. I think I'll leave it there. Like, don't want to go too much into it. Like,
yeah, that's hard.
Have you ever suffered a serious injury?
I've only had a backflash from the gun, which sometimes with an orlikin, after it gets hot, thing sort of blows and you get a flash, but nothing serious.
Apart from like a few broken like sprains and broken wrists and stuff like that, and major one would be probably mentally. And this is, as you know, it's a massive epidemic that's going through the military at the moment for veterans and for still serving, is mental health. The past 13 years, I've really suffered, like really suffered. But I've sort of like battered it backwards and kept moving forward, you know what I mean? Always kept moving forward. And
I'm just noticing something while he's saying that. If you look at his eyes, you can see a suffering.
Yeah.
You know, you can see it. It's not just a reflection or anything of the lighting I'm looking at. I can actually see a man who is really hurt, really beat down. And in our World War II veteran there, it's not there.
No, that's kind of... I've always wondered that myself with, sorry, the way, it seems like with the change in the war, the way war is fought.
It's so different.
Because it is different, like he was talking about earlier. It seems like the mental health of the soldiers has suffered a lot.
Yeah. Not to say it wasn't there before, because I had a great uncle who suffered shell shock from World War II.
Yes, and of course it had to. I mean, how can you go to war and not have some kind of issue afterwards? I mean, that's tough.
And a thank you to veteran services, you know, here in the United States, so the NHS, all over, for those that do their part to help the veterans out. But we always could use more across the world. That's a fact.
I think with my age now, I've got to the age where it's like, well, I've got my family and all that. It's like, I've got to stay straight, you know what I mean? But it creeps back a lot. It does creep back a lot. I think having my daughter is kicking up the arse quite hard, like, you know what I mean? But I think if it didn't, I'd probably still be like that, you know what I mean? It's, but I know a lot of lads, a lot of girls, a lot of soldiers are suffering. Do you miss the forces?
Oof, that's a good question. No, I don't think I missed it. I was away about 4.5 years. I served, and I was glad to get out. No, that's my answer to that. I don't know about yourself.
No. A lot of the lads, their issue with it, they say, oh yeah, I missed the army, I wish I could go back. I think what it is regimented. They're regimented in such a routine where that is your life, and you do that for 3 to 7 to 22 years. Well, I left, and it was like, oh, I'm struggling here. But it was because it was the unknown. It's, I don't miss it. I miss the lads, and I miss
camaraderie.
Yeah, I miss that.
That's about the only thing you miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong, I miss firefights, believe it or not. I miss getting into firefights, I miss weapon handling, I miss teaching it, but that can be replaced by anything. You know what I mean? If you find another passion, another love in life, you replace it with that, you know what I mean?
Well said.
Is there anything you regret about your service?
Not really. Through the years, I am proud to have been a part of it. It took all my youth. If I hadn't have been there, I'd have missed quite a lot. And no, I don't regret it one bit.
I don't think I regret it because it's like I said, it's what I've gained from it. I mean, mentally, it's been mentally draining once I've got out.
I'm just sorry, but this is just another reason why the respect needs to be there, why the thank yous need to be there. They suffer. It's not just a job. And for those that say that, no. Hello, are you watching, listening? Are you paying attention? This is not just a job. You're living with this for the rest of your life. And even though I said the World War II veteran doesn't seem to have the same in his eyes, he did, I guarantee he did for a long time.
Yes.
He's had more time to process into whatever. At the same time, those two men were never going to be the same once they went into war, period.
Absolutely not.
Period. So just another one of the 1,000,001 reasons why the respect needs to be there for them and the honoring of what they're doing, because my God, you lose a part of yourself. that you'll never get back and changes your course of who you are as a human being to do what they've done.
Exactly.
And God bless both of them.
I mean, mentally, it's been mentally draining once I've got out, but at the same time, it's strengthening at the same time. So where something's suffering, someone else is strengthening. You know what I mean? So I'm becoming a better person.
Why you want to tell your story? From my point of view, it may be to help the younger generation. They don't know about your war. They don't know about my war. And by coming on this sort of thing, people watch it and they realise it's part of history. I would think so, or I hope so.
Well, with me, it's like for 10 years after getting out, I suffered and I went into a dark place and I kept it to myself. And every time someone mentioned the military or something like that, I'd switch off and walk away. Didn't want to know. And I'm still a little bit like that now. But since this year, I've started a new project. I've been talking about my career and my story, my mental health and my fight and struggle and all that carry on. It's actually helping me. It's helping me talking about it. But more importantly, there could be someone sat in a dark room right now who hasn't left the house for 2 weeks, and they're scrolling the phone. They come across Lad Bible. They listen to this. They listen to me and you, and they go, "I've been through that. I've seen this," or "That's worse for me," or "That's not as worse for me."
I was thinking that.
If they stand up and they walk out the front door and they give it a go, then we save one. Then it's worth it. So that's why I talk about my story now. And
well, I wouldn't have known your story if I hadn't have listened to it here, would I? I've learned a lot from you, and I hope our little talk today has helped in that way.
I think it will. Not just the younger generation. I think the eldest as well. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Honest.
I definitely got the feeling that the older gentleman really wanted to do something to help take his pain away.
Oh my God, you too.
Yes. Like he was just like looking him in the eyes
like seeing a mirror.
Like, I see you, it's going to be okay.
Yep. I felt that too. And I feel so honored to hear both of their stories, what little bit that they got to share on this short video. And talking about things is the way through things. I will be very proud on December 1st, Lord willing, to celebrate 20 years of sobriety from alcoholism. And 2 years ago, when I celebrated 18 years, I came on here and did a live YouTube, and I was terrified to talk about it. And I plan on coming on here on that day to do a 20-year for my a live video. I'm planning on it. Just now thought I'd let you know. But if I can get sober from alcoholism, anyone can. And I know we have some people, if Robert's watching, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Robert's a subscriber who has been sober for almost 4 months now, I believe. Or just over 4 months. And I bring that up not to toot my own horn or to give myself a pat on the back, but to say that when I brought that up and I did the live, I talked about the reason why a lot of people get stuck in, addiction and or mental health issues, and it's shame. It's you feel shamed and you don't want to talk about it. You feel like you're going to be judged and you're going to be stigmatized. But anymore, it's kind of not so bad, right? And more people are learning that talking is a way to get through things.
Exactly.
And this soldier here was letting you know, hey, I've talked about this and this is what's helped me. It's what helps me. I talk about everything because I can't keep stuff in. It doesn't work that way. And some people are just really scared of the shame to speak up. So if you are anyone that has any sort of issues, you're going through any tough times, be it military, PTSD, things like that, please speak to somebody. Please speak to somebody. And, we are just two American girls, women. Let's be honest, we haven't been girls in a long time. We haven't been girls since our World War II veteran. It's been a while. My point is, we're just two people, two Americans, and that really do care, and we care about you.
That we do.
And again, thank you for your service. Have you served? And if you currently are, and know that what you go through isn't lost on us. We have not gone through it, but we can understand as best as we can, and we can honor you, we can see you, and we can love you.
And we say thank you.
Absolutely. And we will continue to always be there. And we thank you for continuing to be here on the Natasha and Debbie Show. And we will bid you a fond farewell for this Remembrance Day. And we'll see you back here in a couple days. Please think a veteran, and God bless you. Don't forget to always love like jazz.
And be as strong as Tyson. Bye.